Right on to the real, much love to these haters. It's time for the Lakers. It's time for the Lakers. Right on to the real, much love to these haters. It's time for the Lakers. It's time for the Lakers. Right on to the real, much love to these haters. It's time for the Lakers. It's time for the Lakers.
What is happening, my YouTube family? Of course, it is your boy B New. I'm coming at you on this Monday. And first and foremost, as always, just want to send out positive vibrations and blessings to anybody who could be listening. Now, with all that being said, we do know that basketball season is ramping up and is coming up on us as teams have begun to start their training camps, their practices, and of course, even the preseasons. And speaking of preseasons, I'm not trying to laugh or make fun of the Phoenix Suns, but let me tell you something, man. The Phoenix Suns on yesterday were a 30-point favorite against the 36ers. I don't even know the name of the city, but they are a team that's in the Australian League. I guess the Australian equivalent of the NBA. I think it's called the NBL, the National Basketball League, if I'm not mistaken, over there in Australia. And I think Abile or whatever the name of the team is, the 36ers, man, they not even the 76ers, fam. You lost to a team that's not even half of 76. The 36ers, you lost to a 36ers team. You came in as a 30-point favorite. A 30-point favorite, and lo and behold, fell to this team. And that's just going to let you know that there's more talent throughout the world now. It's not like it used to be. Now, we do know there was some G League players and some American players on that Australian team. But of course, still going up against the NBA team, I think that should never happen. The last time an NBA team lost to a non-NBA team was in 2016. And I mean in a scrimmage, not, of course, in Olympic basketball, because that's not an NBA team, even though it does have NBA players. I mean, the actual NBA team that played a non-NBA team was Oklahoma City Thunder, who then lost to actually a team that Luka Doncic was on. And they lost by 10 points in overtime, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, they used to shooting three-pointers like a foot closer. But they still was showing so much distance last night. I think they had something to prove. And, of course, Monty Williams did not want them to exceed their minutes. So I will say this, if the starters played the whole game, you know, maybe the results would have been different. But the starters did play. I mean, the starters did play for 22 minutes. So with that being said, the starters playing for 22 minutes, you know, it still just wasn't enough to bring home the victory, which it should have been. But on the bigger and better things, I want to talk about what you know we like to talk about on this channel, and that is the Los Angeles Lakers. And of course, you know, I'm very optimistic about the season. I know a lot of people aren't, because Russell Westbrook is still on the team. You know, there is no Kyrie Irving, whatever. But at the end of the day, what I think the Lakers have been lacking, especially last season, was a true center, because the Lakers did not have that. You had Dwight Howard, who was quite old, DeAndre Jordan, who was quite old. You never know if they was going to play one night, if they was going to play the next night. Dwight Howard didn't know if he would be playing. People didn't know. But, of course, you know, Dwight Howard, he is up in age now. He can't defend the pick and roll like he used to. He can't be the rim protector that he used to be. So the Lakers, I like the direction that they went by going young and picking up a Thomas Bryant, and, of course, Damian Jones. And Damian Jones had played two 10-day contracts with the Lakers the prior season, and actually showed a lot of promise to me. And the stint that he was just playing with the Sacramento Kings, I think, showed a lot of promise. So what I think about Damian Jones is Damian Jones has athletic ability. He can get so far above the rim, catching oops and everything else. I think he could actually play a little bit of offense if he's close enough to the basket. But the main thing is he just needs to be a rim protector and somebody who can crash the boards. And I think that's something that he is capable of. And the Lakers needed youth, and that's where they suffered so much on defense last year. So now you insert Damian Jones into the starting lineup, which a lot of people thought it was going to be Thomas Bryant. But Thomas Bryant and Damian Jones, they said they had no problem about rotating for each other, which is good, you know, because you don't want to build resentment within the locker room. Now, with all that being said, Thomas Bryant will be more than likely coming off the bench, because Coach Ham has said the starting lineup is going to be Russell Westbrook, Kendrick Nunn, LeBron James, Anthony Davis, and Damon Jones. And what I like about this is Damon Jones being able to be the center, like I said, is bringing back the legs the athleticism, the youth to that position, and somebody who's capable of running the floor, because last year the Lakers suffered mightily on the defensive end. I don't recall if they were ever even playing full court defense. You understand me? They played some half court defense, but when teams got out in the break, they suffered. Now you got a Damian Jones who will be able to help that. And what Damian Jones is going to do, and what I think Darvin Ham has in mind, is just like how he did at Milwaukee. What did he do? Made Giannis into more of a help defender by keeping him at that 4 spot. You didn't see Milwaukee go out and put Giannis at the 5. You saw Brook Lopez still playing that position. You saw Portis still playing that position at times. You understand what I'm saying? So there, I think with Damian Jones being at the 5 spot, that's going to allow AD to be more of a help defender. And what I mean by this is teams shoot so many 3-pointers now. The ball is constantly swinging around the arc, around the horn. The ball is constantly swinging, and then you need somebody who can close out. And we've seen AD with the length and the athleticism and the speed to be able to close out on defenders. That way he doesn't have to just necessarily focus on rim protection and being able to defend the painted area, which is probably not even a primary focus or a concern for a lot of NBA teams now, because so much of the scoring is predicated on the perimeter. That's where a lot of the points are coming from. So, y'all tell me down in the comments below if you think the starting lineup of Westbrook, Nunn, LeBron, AD, and Damian Jones is a good starting lineup. Now, that will put LeBron James in more of a defensive minded set, even though we know LeBron James is up in years and concentrates more on the offensive side. But I'm hoping this year LeBron can step up his defensive intensity like he did at times last year, because hopefully AD can stay healthy and he won't be carrying so much of the offensive burden. Another thing with that starting lineup, we know Kendrick Nunn is only, 6'2". He's not the largest of a 2 guard, so that might put them in some precarious situations when it comes to defending other 2 guards in the league that have some height advantage on him. But he did just fine in Miami, so I think he'll be just fine here. Now, we do have Austin Reeves, who is 6'5". He's a little bit taller, maybe 6'4", 6'5". I know he's a lot taller than Kendrick Nunn. So, I think the Lakers have options, and I like the depth of the Los Angeles Lakers right now. I know a lot of people got them projected to be 9th or 10th, but big baby, now I got to tell you, I think the Lakers going to finish in the top 4 as long as LeBron James and AD can stay healthy, because people forget this is what have you done for me lately? You know what I mean? So many people are, so what have you done for me lately? They haven't seen LeBron and AD together in so long. All of last season, they never really played together. The whole season, they could never be healthy together. The season prior to, they was right there in the playoffs. AD got hurt against Phoenix. We know the rest. The year before that, championship. So you already know what's going on. So back to what I was saying. So the Lakers' depth, if you look at, let's say, behind Westbrook and Nunn, you have Dennis Schroeder, a proven veteran who can come in and play point guard. And somebody who can show a lot of feistiness and activity on the defensive end of the court. Then you can bring in a Pat Bev, of course, who can also do the same. Now, Dennis Schroeder, Pat Bev aren't the best 3-point shooters, but they are capable. And that's why I think on the starting lineup, he chose Nunn, because you have to have somebody who can be highly effective at shooting threes. And Nunn has shot 38, 39, 40% before in his career. And I think he can get back to that level, especially considering the amount of open shots he will have playing with that name person of LeBron James. So just think about that. So if you can have Dennis Schroeder come in and play alongside Pat Bev, and that's not to mention, you still have a Austin Reeves. And then Austin Reeves, if they chose to play small ball, surrounded with shooters, you could play a lineup of a Dennis Schroeder, Pat Bev, and Austin Reeves, maybe in that 3. But let's not forget, you got Troy Brown Jr. He is much bigger and he can shoot. But right now he's dealing with a bad back and a bad ankle. So I'm not sure how much rotation that he's going to end up getting currently. But at the end of the day, not to mention, you have Lonnie Walker. Lonnie Walker is somebody who is capable of coming in and being able to knock down some shots, and he is a larger person as far as height when you talk about comparing him to Kendrick Nunn. So I think he can come in and really play some good defense. Now, let's not forget about Toscano Anderson, who won a ring with Golden State. He was around championship pedigree. He won the Mexican League MVP when he played in the Mexican equivalent of the NBA. He's a great player. And let's not forget, when Damian Jones goes out, you can bring in a Thomas Bryant who can do effectively the same thing and who can actually stretch the floor a little bit, because he is capable of knocking down threes at times. He's not like somebody Don't get me wrong. Get out the comments already saying that I said he's a knockdown three-point shooter. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying he's capable of making them because he has before. And if he needs to, you can kind of spread the floor if that's something the Lakers choose to do. But for the most part, him and Damian Jones will be used as wing protectors. So then you think about, okay, when AD comes out, what are we going to do? Because as we all know, the Lakers have so many players in the backcourt instead of in the front court. And they're a little bit thin. So who's going to come in and take the place of AD, especially when you got Thomas Bryant and Damian Jones taking each other's place in the 5 spot as far as the center? That's when you look to Wayne and Gabriel. So I think Wayne and Gabriel can come in and play that 4 spot. He can stretch the floor a little bit because he's capable of shooting threes. Like I said, he's not a knockdown three-point shooter. The Lakers really don't have one of those, but I still think that will be okay because all you got to do is make them when it counts and play good defense. And I think Ham is going to be very predicated on the defensive side. You understand what I'm saying? But with all that being said, man, I just think the Lakers, they're going to play, I think, in 2 or 3 days, their first preseason game. We'll see how that goes. We'll all tune in. We know last year, the preseason, they lost every game and we said it wasn't a big deal. Then the season started and you saw what happened. So let's just focus in on this, see what the Lakers can do. I'm excited about the seasons. If you haven't already, hit that like, hit that share, hit that bell, subscribe. Put in the comments who you think the Lakers starting lineup should be. Or what do you think about Ham's choice right now? Do you think Westbrook will still end up being traded because we so backcourt heavy? And what are your thoughts on that? And I will respond back when I can. As always, man, much love to everybody and right on to the real and much love to these haters. I'm out.